An American college student was jailed for 8 months in a hellish Chinese prison and feared the death penalty after being accused of smoking a marijuana joint and sharing it with friends, Daily Mail. Com can reveal. Matthew Fellows, 23, was detained for 8 months in Nanjing Detention Center, accused of 4 counts of drug trafficking and unable to speak to his family. His ordeal finally ended on Sunday after he was cleared of all charges. Fellows, from Gambrills, Maryland, returned to the U.S. on Monday, on his way to an emotional reunion with the family who fought behind the scenes to have him freed. DailyMail.com has learned that Matthew was thrown in jail after being set up by a jealous love rival at his college who had eyes on his Russian girlfriend. The student, nicknamed Thor due to his long blonde hair and 6 feet 2 inches athletic frame, was released on Saturday and flew back to the U.S. from Nanjing, China via Seoul in South Korea early Monday. He landed in Los Angeles on Monday afternoon before switching planes and flying to Washington, D.C., arriving on Tuesday. While on his journey, Matthew was able to update his Facebook page. He wrote, "I haven't worn shoes in 8 months, let alone walking for more than 3 minutes. My feet hurt, and so do all the muscles associated foot movement in my lower legs. I'll get the hang of strolling around on my feet after a few days." His parents, Donna and Bill Fellows, who haven't spoken to or seen their son in 8 months, are planning a welcome party at the airport. Speaking exclusively to DailyMail.com of their immense relief at seeing Matthew released, Donna, 54, said, "We're absolutely thrilled, we can't wait to get him home and smother him with love and hugs. It's been a traumatic time for the entire family, we're just glad it's over." They had not risked publicizing his plight in case it made the situation worse. The high school wrestling and gymnastics champion fell in love with Chinese culture and people and immersed himself in society. But his parents say that as a tall, handsome Westerner, some in his college group may have harbored jealousy and resentment towards him. Investigators hired by the family to expedite his release told them that they discovered an unknown acquaintance had called the police to make a false report that Matthew had been smoking marijuana and passing it around to people at a university gathering. The acquaintance was later revealed to have been jealous of Matthew's relationship with a pretty Russian model called Victoria and wanted him out of the way. Under Chinese law, passing drugs to others is considered a serious trafficking offense. Chinese authorities have a zero-tolerance policy towards drug offenses, and more than 2 counts can carry the death penalty. Matthew faced 4 counts. As a result of the allegations, Matthew and his family faced a nightmare 8 months. Inmates could only wash using water from a bucket. Matthew wasn't allowed any phone calls or visitors, other than a half-hour meeting once a month with an official from the U.S. consulate. Donna and Bill were left completely in the dark as to what had happened, for how long their son would be detained, and what they should do next. Eventually, after 4 weeks, the U.S. consulate informed them of the grim reality of their son's predicament. Share this article, share. And it was only through a series of prison letters that trickled in from Matthew that his parents learned how their son was surviving behind bars. His imprisonment took everyone by surprise. Stephen Comerect, operations director at Conflict International's New York office, who was instrumental in getting Matthew released, told Daily Mail. com that the student situation was grim. In some places in China you can get the death penalty for as few as 2 counts of drug trafficking. Mr. Fellows had 4. They have a zero-tolerance approach, he said. The Fellows were completely distraught by this, as you might imagine, fearful for their son's life. We immediately contacted our assets within the Chinese government and were able to quickly ascertain what had happened to Mr. Fellows. We then conducted our own investigation, and working with the local authorities and court system, we managed to get to the truth. Kamarek, also a member of the World Association of Detectives, says his team was also able to establish that a love rival of Matthew made false claims of a crime to police. We discovered that there was a local interest in Mr. Fellows' Russian girlfriend Victoria, he said. Crimes were reported to the local police because of a romantic rival he was even unaware of. We quickly came to learn that the crimes Mr. Fellows was accused of, he did not commit. Kamarek said his investigators worked closely with the U.S. consulate in Shanghai, the U.S. Embassy in Beijing, the Chinese government, and also Maryland Senator Ben Cardin's office, among others, to get Matthew released. He added, luckily the judge in the case was able to see the evidence we brought forward, and the charges were dropped. We want to thank the Chinese government for taking care of our citizen and working with us to get to the truth. Conflict International is a London-based intelligence, investigation, and security agency providing investigation and surveillance services to clients worldwide. Kamarek provided his service pro bono after hearing the Fellows family's heartbreaking story. After receiving evidence from Kamarek's team and a lengthy court process, a judge ultimately decided there was no validity to the drugs allegations against Matthew and all charges were dropped. The 8 months Matthew had already served were put down on his record as credit for his connection to the theft of a cell phone from a nightclub a year before. Matthew had previously paid a $600 fine when a friend asked him to pass an unattended phone he saw on a table, which the friend then pocketed. The move by the judge means that Matthew is banned from China for life.